So basically this video is my letter to any first year teacher or teacher who's gonna be a first year teacher next year. Guys, my name is Laura Evans. I am a 4th grade math and science teacher in Florida. So basically I'm gonna give you guys my top like 4, maybe 5 tips on just kind of how to survive your first year. All right, so tip number 1 is to find yourself a focus. I got this great advice from my internship teacher when I was going through my internship, and she basically said, you know, your first year, you're just trying to survive, find yourself a focus, find something to work on, and focus on that one thing. And if everything else is just kind of mellow, goes crazy, it's fine. As long as you have your one focus and you're doing well at that, you're successful. So my first year, my focus was classroom management. I would suggest if you're gonna pick a focus to probably pick classroom management for your first one. That's including like finding how you wanna set up your classroom, not only just like behavior management, but those other things as well. I mean, my first 2 years, I moved my classroom around so much. I moved furniture around so much to find what worked for me and what worked for my teaching style as I was finding it throughout the year. So just a thought. My second year, I decided to focus on math. I got really good, really familiar with the math standards. So definitely I would say pick classroom management probably your first year, just because you're trying to survive, find what works for you, and that's gonna help you in the long run. Obviously it can change from year to year. It doesn't have to stay the same just because you picked that the first year. And then I would say the second year, pick one area. Like I picked math, you could pick small groups, you could pick reading, writing, whatever, science, social studies, whatever it is. Tip number 2, I would definitely say, is parent conference and parent requests do not run your classroom, you run your classroom. Remember, you went to college, you were trained to do this, you took a test to show your knowledge to be able to do this, so you're trained to do this, not these other parents. Yes, those parents do know their kids, but those parents do not know their kids in an academic classroom setting. So you know what's best for your classroom. Stick to your guns. Obviously be kind doing it. Don't go crazy and don't be rude, but I think most teachers are pretty good about that. So
little story time here. My first year, I let parent requests basically run my classroom. I was terrified. Anytime a parent would come and complain to me about something, I would try everything I could to switch things around to accommodate for them, and it burnt me out. I was exhausted after my first year, and so I've learned from that. I've learned what I can say yes to, what I cannot say yes to, and I learned to stick to my guns basically. So for the most part this year, I've stuck to my guns.
Tip number 3, have data to back up everything. Write things down. Even though things might sound so silly, write it down. Never delete an email from a parent, always have it. I had a lot of situations my first year where I would mark a certain kid as a certain grade. The parent would come back to me and ask me, why is this way? Why is the child failing? And I had to go back and have that data, and it would take me a long time to search. Sorry, someone came into my room. So what I'm saying is if you go ahead and you have that data already written down, you can easily pull out your binder wherever it's located and show it to the parent, and plus it makes you look more organized and more credible. So have a binder for parent communication, have a binder for all the kids' data, write it down, keep it, have data to back your choices. So kind of combining tip 2 and tip 3 together, with the parent requests and the data. If you have a behavioral student who has a lot of behaviors, make sure you are documenting what they're doing and what you are doing to resolve that issue in the classroom. I've run into issues where I've written down all these behaviors throughout the day that the child is doing, but I haven't written down what I did as a behavioral intervention, and then people come back to me and say, well, what did you do? And it's a whole, I have to tell the story. But if you write down a simple, this is what I did, you have that data, you have it written down. Trust me, it'll save you from a lot of meetings and a lot of paperwork and a lot of headaches. All right, this one is for my soon-to-be first-year teachers. Over your summer, plan ahead. Think about what you want your routines to be like, what you want your procedures to be like. Think about all those things ahead of time. If you have that all planned out, the first day, the first week, the first month is gonna go a lot smoother because you already know how you want things to look. Obviously, it doesn't have to be set in stone. You can change things. Like I said, my first year, I changed my behavior management so many times. It was insane. I did classroom economy, I did classroom dojo, I did a clip chart. it was all over the place, but I found what worked for me. So yes, you can change it, but think ahead, plan it out. You might want to write a few things down here and there. That way you have it going into that first day, that first week of school. You can really establish those routines, which are going to obviously help you later on in the school year when you're doing those tough academic areas and you don't have time to go back and reteach behaviors to your students, routines to your students. They already know the behaviors because you thought them out ahead and you taught them. My next one is kind of a fun one, and it's to gather materials slowly. So I know going into my first year, I wanted to get all these materials. I wanted to set up my classroom. I wanted everything to be color coded and perfect. But those things take time. Unless you have like an unlimited amount of money, then go for it. But I certainly did not. So definitely, take your time gathering them up. Look for the sales. I made a whole video about how to save money at setting up your classroom as a new teacher. So go check that out. I'll link it for you guys. It definitely describes a lot of tips and things you can do to save money while you're setting it up. But like I was saying, take your time gathering them. It doesn't have to be ready on the first day of school. You can gather your materials throughout the first year that you're teaching. It took me 2 years to get everything that I needed. And now all those materials are gone for said situation that you guys probably know about. But I have to regather them, and I'm not regathering them all in one go. I've been slowly getting them throughout the school year. I've been doing donors choose projects and whatnot, and I still don't have everything, and that's fine. And we've been successful in my classroom so far. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Take your time. Don't spend all your money in one place. Before I share my last tip, I just wanted to share my shirt. I think it's so cute. It says, "In a world where you can be anything, be kind." I got it from the Right Stuff CHICS. Definitely go check out their website. They got a lot of cute teacher tees. So my last tip is more of like a mindset tip for you as a teacher. It's okay to not always be positive all the time in your first year. It's gonna be really hard. You're gonna go home crying. You might cry during the middle of the day. I did it a couple times. Try not to cry in front of the kids though. Try to save it for like planning or lunch break or whatever. But it's stressful. It really is. In this day and age with everything that's going on, teaching is very hard. And trust me, we do not get paid enough for the job that we do. We do 20 jobs all at the same time, all at once. And some people do even more. We have our team leaders, people who tutor outside of school, who do those extra things. But just keep in mind, like, you do not have to be this perfect polished person all the time. It's okay to let out some steam. Take care of yourself. If you're a person who enjoys exercising, exercise. If you're a person who enjoys meditating, yoga, get a yoga mat, bring it in your classroom, do 10 minutes of yoga during your lunch break or planning or whatever. Do it. Whatever you think is going to help you stay sane throughout the school year, do it. And remember, you do not have to be perfect and polished. You are learning as well as the kids at the same time. So all right, so I hope you guys found some use in those tips, at least a little bit of comfort in those tips. If you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed these tips, give me a thumbs up, give this video a thumbs up. If you have any other tips, if you're a veteran teacher or in your second year teaching, or you just completed your first year, please leave your tips down below, because I'm sure these first year teachers are gonna need all the help they can get coming into this next school year. Let me know if anything resonated with you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any future videos, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.